Just in time.
Oh, man.
Yo, what's good? What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, Kid Blue watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? How y'all doing? It's Kush and KB back at it again with another episode of the Young Guns podcast. As you can see, he has a little bit of facial hair now, even though just like this past Sunday, it didn't look like there was anything there. So I
I
don't
know, it's
know.
weird.
I don't know what he rubbed on his face. Went outside, got some dirt, smeared it over his upper lip and his chin or something. But what's up, y'all? How you guys doing? Got Namar and Edward in the chat. Uh, this is actually, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Y'all need to share the stream out right now, bro, because I don't know what's been up
Yeah.
with YouTube. This happened last week on my call-in show where nobody got notifications for it. So hey man, YouTube they be on something sometimes like that. What up, Ben Wynn in here as well? He says Super Bowl champs, LA fan. I'm guessing. Congratulations, man. You're certainly feeling happy right now about that. But in general, with this stream, there hasn't been much Giants news to talk about. I'm sure me and KB, there's stuff that we didn't get a chance to discuss on the podcast, like the Kayvon Thibodeaux rumors. There's been a lot of stuff going on with him the past couple of weeks about possibly dropping, about him possibly wanting to come to the Giants and stuff like that. And of course, KB could share his thoughts on in general about what he thinks about Kayvon, the edge class. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear much more about Karlaftis from the two of us, so you'll hear about Kayvon, you'll hear about Hutchinson, hopefully. Then of course, I released the video today. It was just literally me reacting to, Giants life. It did way better than I expected because I don't think I've ever did a reaction video, so to speak, on my channel before. It did really good, but there was also things in there that I noticed that I'm not sure. Did you get a chance to watch the Giants life episode yet, KB, that they put
I
out?
have I have not. I have
I'll
not.
say this. There's
Mhm,
a good portion of that video is just, Joe Shane at the Senior Bowl.
mhm.
And there's a couple players that kept popping up more than once, we shall say, that stayed on the screen a little bit longer than everybody else. So I was like, is this subliminal messaging or is this just a coincidence and whatnot? The guys that were popping up, the two guys more than anybody else, was Christian Watson, a wide receiver out of North Dakota State, and Trevor Penning, the tackle, who
Mm.
is
He's been
not one of
rising up
those.
boards.
He has been rising up boards, but he's
Yeah.
not one of those top three guys, which makes, I was kind of speculating that video. I'm like, trade down possibly for him, or are they going to take him at one of those picks? And I'm
Mhm.
sure you probably wouldn't mind a trade down as well, as as long as we're getting a good offer for it and whatnot.
Yeah, of
And then there was
course,
a
yeah.
third guy that was showed a little bit too much, where I was like, please don't do it. Please just be smoke.
Who is
That
it?
third guy was Kenny Pickett. Now,
Oh god,
so I
please.
mean, listen,
Oh.
man. So in addition to all that, the offseason is there in general. There's a lot of things to talk about there with the $40 million in cap. If you have anybody in mind to sign, because we're going to be dumpster diving, I don't know, unless they pull a miracle out of nowhere to where we're not going to be dumpster diving. And then, of course, general draft stuff. Shout out to Ash in here. We got Nate. We got Martinez. We got Ryan, Ramdre, and Manny. What's up, y'all? How y'all
What's
doing?
up, guys?
Jesus, are you related to Blake? Just asking. I'm just
It's
asking, man.
Martinez is one of the most common Spanish names ever, man.
Bro, you don't know that. You don't know that. Watch this man be Blake's third cousin, bro. Blake's third
You
cousin
know
from like
somebody's gonna say
Ecuador.
it. Somebody's gonna say it. You know that Tony guy keeps popping up here every once in a while. Remember?
Where's King Tone, bro? He claims to be a cousin of Kadarius Toney, but I've seen no proof of this. But
I had
yeah,
a guy a couple of years ago. I forgot his name. He was a safety for the Giants for they called him the Rocket or something like that. Something like 6th round pick a while ago, and he kept coming on my channel talking about, oh, I'm his cousin, and we could set up an interview. I'm like, all right, I was younger back then. I was like, all right, do it, and he just never responded. But yeah, they
we
always
gonna
say
get
that
some
kind of stuff.
Giants on the channel one day, bro. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen. It's
yeah,
gonna happen.
one day.
But I mean, I guess let's start off with anywhere that you want to. Let's start, I guess, all the way from the beginning. Just give me your general thoughts on Kayvon Thibodeaux, what you've thought
Yeah.
about him as a prospect, why you think
Mhm,
he may or may not be slipping, and then
mhm.
after that, you could get into the rumors of him potentially slipping all the way to 5.
Yeah, I don't have my notes on me on hand right now. I'll probably get it in the next couple minutes if we start talking about more about prospects. But right off the top of my
We
head,
will, like
Yeah,
later on the stream, yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeaux, man. Remember I told you about Thibodeaux, and I said, hey, it's a possibility that he drops, not like a Greg Rousseau situation where he drops all the way to 30, but I kind of like equated him to that because you know in the early stages of drafts, I think we all get hyped up on a player's potential and their ceiling. And Kayvon Thibodeaux and Gregory Rousseau are like right there with each other as far as ceiling goes because, athletic
And real quick, would
freaks,
you
you know what I'm
say that
saying?
Kayvon has like one of the highest, if not the highest ceiling in the draft?
Yes, of course. Yes, I
Without a doubt,
100%
yeah.
yes, without a doubt. And that's why, and it's not, if we start measuring on ceiling, of course, I would probably rate him the best edge rusher right now. But as far as day one, he's just not. And I can definitely see him slipping off boards because when you go into the top 10, of course you want the guy that has the best ceiling, but at the same time, you also want a guy that's probably ready to start day one. Is Kayvon ready to start day one? I think so, but I don't think he's just as good as an Aiden Hutchinson right from day one, or even a Karloff. Honestly, I think Karloff is better day one. People may debate me on that, but I think he is better day one. Another guy that I think would be a good day one player is Cam Thomas. I know he's a big sleeper of mine. I love Cam Thomas. I'm not saying he's better than Kayvon right now, but he's a guy that I could see day one being successful. Kayvon scares me a little bit, and that's why he may slip out of the top 5. He's for sure going in the top 10. There's no way I see Kayvon slipping past 10, like Greg Rousseau, who slipped all the way to 30. But Kayvon, the biggest thing for me is the technique. He's very, very raw. I mean, it's like it's almost bad to say, but it's pretty bad. His technique is just not there. It's not enough. He doesn't have much of hand technique. He doesn't really prioritize his hands as much as he should. And it's a shame because he has very good bend, very good speed, very good power. Like he has everything. He has all the traits. He finds a way to get to the quarterback very unorthodox, and it's something that he definitely needs to work on because he's not going to get away with it in the NFL. He's just not. It's very hard to do that kind of thing. But I mentioned to you before, I'll have to find the clip because I watched a lot of Kayvon Thibodeaux, but there was a clip in particular where literally his hands were being wrapped up by a lineman and he didn't know what to do. He had no hand technique at all. He started rushing the lineman with his shoulders. Like he just started bull rushing him with his shoulders. It wasn't good, man. So those type of things kind of scare me about Thibodeaux. But I mean, I would not be a team to say in the top 10 and say like I'm going to skip out on Thibodeaux because he's not ready day one or whatever. He's not like a huge day one prospect or whatever. But I think if I'm any team in the top 10, or even I would probably still try to take him in the top 5. I mean, if I'm in that much in love with Thibodeaux and what he can do, um, and his
So that
potential.
leads to the next part. How
Mhm.
realistically speaking, I don't think he's dropping the 5, bro. I really don't. What do you think?
See, there are a lot of scenarios, man, because you think about you look at the type of players that are kind of in his area, in his tier of where the pieces fall in the draft. There are plenty of like really good high ceiling and really good day one players, available. You look at Evan Neal, even Ekem is rising up draft boards above 5. That's 2 slots right there. Kyle Hamilton's definitely going in the top 5. I don't care if he's a safety. That guy's just too good to
To who
miss
though?
on.
To who within the
Hutch.
top 5?
Oh, to Kyle Hamilton?
Yeah.
I think the Texans. I don't think he goes past the Texans. The
Aren't
Texans
the
or the Jets.
Texans number 3?
Yeah, 3. I honestly think Kyle Hamilton could
Really?
go that high. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm not a big safety person at all. Trust
Mhm.
me, I'm not. But watching Kyle Hamilton, my jaw dropped to the floor like it's constantly, dude. Watching this guy, he's one of the smartest players in college football. Like just to have him as a rookie out there would be insane. Like he would have a way bigger impact than Jamal Adams ever did. And Jamal Adams was taken like what, top 5, you know?
Wasn't Jamal Adams like 3rd overall or something crazy like
Something
that? Or
like
am I
that. I say he
tripping?
was a high
Yeah.
draft pick as a safety. Okay, Kyle Hamilton. If Jamal Adams was worth a top 5 pick, which I think he was in his time in his beginning early years with the Jets, um, Kyle Hamilton is for sure worth a top 5 pick, and he's ready day one, and his ceiling can probably be even higher.
Mhm.
Um, but you look at the guys kind of like that are day one better than Thibodeaux as a player right now. There's plenty of them. It all depends if a team says I'm gonna take the ceiling over his day one potential. So like I said, I don't blame a team if they take him in the top 5, and I don't blame a team if they take him in the top 10. I will be very concerned if he falls out the top 10, which would
And
not
this is what I'm
happen.
gonna ask you because I see the chat coming up, and I've said this before. I was on Fisk's channel. I said this. I said if any of the top 2 edge rushers are there at 5 and we don't take them, I'm a riot.
I
So
want,
I
yeah,
I, I
I
hold
want,
that
yeah,
with Thibodeau. If
yeah.
Thibodeau is there at 5 and we take somebody else, I'm
Yeah,
upset.
and do
I'm
not do
extremely
not
upset.
yeah, don't mistake me because I know when I'm not very much of a negative person. I'm more of a realistic person, so I see the good and the bad in people. And so when I mention the bad about a prospect, people think that I don't like the prospect. If
Oh,
we
bro, let
pick
me stop you
if
right
we
there, bro.
pick
Just
Kayvon at
because,
number 5,
literally, just
I
because I want to fix this O line and use a good
mhm.
amount of picks in the top 5, I got this one dude on Twitter tagging me every single time somebody says, "Yo, you could build a line without spending first round picks on." I'm like, I noticed.
I
I
know this.
personally, I personally just want to draft a O lineman in the first round, man. Listen,
It's
sometimes the world don't
funny.
work. You want it the way you want it to work, Twitter person.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go with the first round pick. That's all I'm saying.
It's
But
funny is
yeah.
because it's like for years we've been talking about the Giants, building through the draft with the O line and getting first round O linemen. And then like back then people were on board with that. Now they're just not. They just want skill position players. But yeah, and like with Thibodeaux, man, I could say all the negative things about him, about how he's not. I'm not saying he's a bad day one prospect. He's just not as good as the other day one pro like Evan Neal and Hamilton and Hutchinson. Of course, I think Hutchinson and Kyle Hamilton are going to be the best day one rookies in the draft, but like, bar none. So,
Mhm.
um, I just don't think that he's as good as those day one guys. But if the Giants take him at number 5, I'm jumping up and down, happy, extremely happy, man, to have him and Aziz Ojolari there. It will kind of concern me a little bit because I kind of feel like kind of have 2 speed rushers off the edge. It might be a little harder. Although I think Kayvon has some power to him. I think he could play the strong side. But yeah, I'm extremely excited about Kayvon Thibodeaux right now. But day one, day
So let
one,
me ask you
I'm
this, right?
looking,
Because
I'm looking.
I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned this in the video today where I was looking at the Giants life because of and I don't think it's a coincidence. They really did focus in on Trevor Penning quite a bit in that video with the Senior Bowl part. Like, take a look at it, and I'm sure you'll notice it. Like, there was like 4 shots of him, and 2 of those 4 shots are just long plays of him completely stonewalling a defender and like pushing him into the ground. I'm like, there's kind of a message here that's being sent. So I was like, in the off chance that Kayvon drops to 5 and we take him, which I'll be extremely happy with. I'm already a happy camper for day 1, no matter what happens.
Mhm.
I would be I'm looking for a trade for 7 immediately to go down to somewhere like 14 or something, and I'll take Trevor Penning there. How would you feel about that?
If we got Kayvon and then Trevor Penning,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Trevor
if we
Penning threw
get
a trade down.
okay through a trade down, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that at all. My only thing is, you would have to evaluate who's on the board at the time. If a guy like Chem is on the board,
Oh, if a guy like a Kim is on the board still at
yeah,
7,
I'd
the
still,
NFL
I'd
done
still,
messed up letting us get Kayvon
yeah,
and Akem, bro.
yeah. So
That's not the
I
way.
would definitely still take Chem. But so, do you think the drop off from like a guy like Charles Cross and Penning is any much of a drop off, or would you still take Charles Cross at 7, or would you say, okay, let's get some more draft
I do
picks
think
and
it's a
then
drop
get?
off. I do think there's
You
a
think?
drop off
Yeah,
between the
I
top 3
I
guys
agree.
and Trevor Penning. I
So
will say
so
that.
so if the only top tackle is Charles Cross on the board at 7, I think it's safe to say we would just look for a trade down and try to get Penning at a
You
later
said if
draft
Charles
pick.
Cross is at 7?
If only Charles Cross as far as the
No,
offensive
I would take
tackles
Charles
go.
Cross at 7. I'm comfortable
Yeah.
with taking Charles Cross at
Okay.
7. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
He's been getting a lot of hate on Giants Twitter recently.
I You know
I
what
got it.
it is, man?
I got into it. I got
It's
it. Hold up,
Ash's
real quick,
fault.
real
It's
quick.
Ash's fault. It's Ash's fault.
At least I respect Ash's take because I trust that
I'm
he at
just
least
messing
looked at
with
the
him.
player,
I'm just
right?
messing with
No,
him.
but
Yeah.
this goes with my argument because at least I know that Ash looked at the player by himself and formed his own opinion. But I got into it with a dude on Twitter purely because I said I'm comfortable with taking Cross at 5 or 7. All of a sudden, he's my guy. I'm like, he's not my guy. He's my third option.
Yeah.
Like,
Third
he's
option.
still a good
Yeah.
option, but your
He's
third
still a good
option isn't your
option. Of
guy.
course.
My guy is Akeem.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna get
Cross has
into
been getting
prospects. We're gonna
Cross
get
has
into
been getting a lot
prospects.
of
So
hate
let me
because
get my
yeah, for sure,
let me
for
get
sure.
my
Why
thing.
you do that? Let me tell the chat. So Cross has been kind of getting a lot of flack on Twitter because mostly because of his lack of aggressiveness, in my opinion, and a little bit of his There was a tweet by Bobby Skinner. Shout out to Bobby Skinner. I gotta continue saying this, fronted channel, all that. But he pointed out some, like, I think it was hand technique mistakes. Cross is like the most sound pass protector in the draft class, without a doubt. Some people will argue he's the safest pick at tackle in the draft class. Like, he is one of those top 3 guys for a reason, which is why I'm comfortable taking him at 7 if he's there, no
Charles
question.
Cross.
But but he's been getting a little flack for the things I mentioned. So I mean, we'll see what happens with it. And I even said in today's video, like, if there's one thing Trevor Penning has over Cross, no doubt, is it's that nastiness, is that aggressiveness similar to
Yeah,
Akeem.
those were my biggest knocks on Charles Cross, and it's not even a big knock. It's just that you don't see like his, how some offensive linemen have highlight plays rather than
Yeah.
you
And
go
real
back
quick,
in drafts and see
let,
them.
let me
Hmm.
say what Ash says here. Because Ash, your definition of need was what the coach thought. So, and I agree with you. You don't reach based off need, but we don't know what the coaches are thinking. So that's why I'm not gonna get into that. Because it's like if we try and think what the coaches are thinking, there's no point of us doing all this mock draft stuff and whatnot. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? For us to say what they think is a need and whatnot. But
Right,
yeah, go
right.
ahead.
But yeah, with Charles Cross, I could understand where people are coming from because they want to see more of a nastiness from their tackles, and I guess that was a similar problem to like Matt Parrott had coming out the draft. He
Oh,
just
that
wasn't
that
very
still is a thing.
nasty.
Like Pert does not use his size the way he should use it.
Yeah, he's just not a bully. But I think Charles Cross isn't like Matt Parrott and doesn't use his aggressiveness. I think Charles Cross is just more like energy efficient. I don't think he tries to make the most wildest sort of moves to try to win the edge rusher. I think he's just smarter. I think he just plays a lot smarter. His kick slides are a little slower. Right off the snap, you know how right off the snap, some players will like start their kick slide and start to move back and stuff like that. I think Charles Cross off the snap just stays there, kind of like pedals his feet a little bit and waits for the lineman to come to him. I think that's what people don't really like about him because he doesn't like he's not nasty with it. He doesn't really get a good push. Offensive linemen get a punch off. They kind of punch the defensive end a little bit, and
Yeah, yeah.
he just doesn't do that. But I think Charles Cross is very technically sound, man. I think he's very safe in the draft. I think if any team ends up with him, he may not be, it doesn't have maybe the ceiling of an Ekem or Evan Neal because they have that grit, they have that nastiness to him. Um, but Charles Cross is definitely a safe pick in this draft, and it definitely worth seventh overall, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So yeah.
And a shout out to Miz in here, Wild and Plug, Hazel, know how y'all doing. Um, Sticking on that tackle thing, do you have any notes on Trevor Penning that you'd like to talk about since we
No, no,
brought him up?
I haven't. I've seen Trevor Penning. I haven't scouted Trevor Penning. No,
Okay, Ramdre, no. I said that in my mock draft video. I'm like
no.
99% sure I said
Yo,
it in my
people
mock
are
draft
so
video.
obsessed with that. They always take
Bro,
one tackle
bro,
in each
I
draft
don't
and
know
put him to
why.
guard.
Why would you want to move Akem in at guard, bro? First of all,
uh,
the size. The man is massive.
there
The way he
was
uses his, like we were just talking about how Matt Pert doesn't use his size. I'm gonna steal a line from the great Vach Lombardi, bro. When
okay.
after I did my scouting on Akim, I went out and watched Vach, and he had a perfect sentence to say about him. He's like, Akim moves big dudes like he's a big dude. He's not like
Mhm.
Greg Little, who moved big dudes like he was a little dude. And I'm gonna add on to that. He's not
Greg
like Matt
Little.
Pert, who moves big dudes like he's a little dude. He uses
Yeah.
his size well.
Hmm.
He doesn't have an issue like, say, Jamari Salyer, who I also talked about in that draft, where it's like they don't have enough quickness laterally to be on the outside. That's why you shift them on the inside and whatnot. And I'm just reminded so much of Rashawn Slater whenever I hear now about people saying move
Yeah.
Iquanu on the inside. I'm like, nah, you're gonna regret
See, but
that.
here's
He has
and
all the tools to be a
Nate
really good tackle at the NFL.
Nate tries to refute us a little bit about the why would you move in the guard because he's already fine at tackle. Like it's just like the only reason, like okay, here's a really good example. If you guys know the tackle from Ohio State, Nicholas Pettit Frerer, whatever his name is, he's actually he's a sleeper at tackle. Yeah, I think I think he could go into the first round or may be a second round pick as a tackle, but I think he's a guy that can fit as a guard. It would probably be better as a guard. Now, when we
I mean, yeah,
talk
you
about
can if you want to, but I don't
yeah,
think that's
if
what
you
we
want
discussing.
to. Yeah, yeah, if you want to, you could, but that in my opinion, that would only be if he's better at as a guard than he is a tackle. Like looking at a guy like Ekem, he's perfectly fine at tackle. There's no really reason why you would put him at guard unless you really need a guard. And at that point, why are you drafting in the top 5 a tackle that to just turn him to guard because you need a guard? I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. So, guys like Nicholas Pettit, I understand if you move him inside. Kenyon Green played guard and tackle. He's better inside, So it's all about where that player is and where he will be more successful at. Although Ekem, pretty much most tackles you could probably fit anywhere, right? But doesn't mean you should. Then just leave him at tackle. You know what I'm saying? Just leave him
Nick
there.
Gates was a tackle, better at guard.
Nick Gates. Yeah, better at center and guard. Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Wyland
know?
says Kayvon or Akeem at 5. I'm gonna stand by my position. If Kayvon is there, I'm taking him. I won't be mad if him and Akeem is there and we take Akeem, but I'll definitely feel some type of way, bro, because you don't pass up on that talent, in my opinion. And if Akeem
My
is there at 5, that means there's a good chance that Cross is somehow also there. So one of them is gonna be there at 7.
Yeah, my and that's actually a good point that you made. I hope something crazy doesn't happen where Charles's Cross is taking over Ikem. That'll be pretty bad because Carolina is going to get a tackle, and my only thing is that I don't fear Carolina taking like a cave on as much as I fear them taking a guy like Ikem. So I
Mm-hmm.
probably would have to, even though I value even though I value probably in my opinion Ekem more. I mean, Kayvon more. I would probably still take Ekem first and then take Kayvon just because I don't really fear Carolina is going to grab up an edge rusher rather than a tackle. But at the same time, that's all hearsay because when it comes to draft time, times change. You know what I mean? Decisions change. I probably would still probably take Kayvon ahead, but well, that's all situational there. But that would be such a good situation to have, man. That'd
Mm-hmm.
be such a good situation. And you made up a good point too that you might as well take Kayvon because one of the two top tackles is going to be there. If Ekem is there and Charles Cross and Ekem is there, so you could just probably get Kayvon and Charles Cross.
Yeah.
And another thing is that I'm not satisfied with our pass rushing group right now. So that's why I would definitely consider Kayvon over Ekem because although I like Azeez Ojolari, is he really like you know, a top
Listen.
pass rusher for the
I still
team?
have a lot of faith that he could
I
develop
do
into one. But
too,
edge
but
rusher is a 2-man job, and we need that second man right
exactly.
now, bro.
And if you look at drafting in the top 10 when as far as tackles go, you sometimes, I mean, most of the time, you're drafting in the top 10 for a tackle to have that tackle be your best tackle, your left tackle, right? Your franchise tackle. We already have that. So although I would love Ekem, and if Kayvon and Ekem are there, probably Kayvon. But we're looking for a right tackle right now. And it's not bad to get a right tackle in the top 10. It's just that priorities. You gotta kind of look at your priorities and look at your team. And I think Kayvon would definitely benefit the Giants more than I guess than Ekem would at number 5, just because we already have Andrew Thomas there. Although our offensive line is garbage, right? We know that, but at least we have a franchise tackle. We could lean on that a bit. And we could afford to like miss on Ekem and get a Charles Cross.
Do you have any notes on Devin Lloyd or N'Kobe Dean?
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to get into linebackers, baby?
Get
Let's
into
go.
linebackers because
Let's go.
listen, I'm all on the trade of tackle and either linebacker or edge right now.
Mhm.
Or of course, if we don't trade down. So I mean, first of all, who do you have ahead of the other, N'Kobe or
I
Devin?
I I said this just because I just didn't want anybody to like be upset. I had N'Kobe at the beginning, but N'Kobe was never my number one. Devin Lloyd is my number one, and I think people are starting to realize that too. Devin Lloyd is my number one.
Well, listen, I'm gonna just say you
Insane.
got the floor. Go off, because they've heard me speak on this so many times,
Okay.
bro. Go ahead.
So Devin Lloyd, listen, this is one of the most athletic linebackers you'll see in a very long time. Although N'Kobe is himself athletic, I think Devin Lloyd is just he's sideline to sideline so quick. This guy is a tackle for loss machine, man. Has one of the best angle tackles you'll see from a linebacker in any draft. I mean, seriously, has that part down. You usually see a lot with these younger linebackers. They take bad angles, they miss on tackles, stuff like that. He does have a little bit of issues with, missing open field tackles, as probably every rookie, every young defender really does. Open field tackles are probably the worst, kryptonite to a young defender. Um, yeah, he's the tackle for loss monster, effective in the A gap blitz. Man, this guy is like 10 out of 10 as far as the A gap blitzing goes. Man, he doesn't let anybody stop him at all. Whether he's contact, he makes contact with the lineman or not. Sometimes he just runs right through, and I don't know if that's really their defensive scheme or maybe the offensive line messing up or maybe just him being that damn good. But he does that a lot. His tape versus Stanford in 2021. I have something called takeover tape, man. When somebody just takes over an entire game, like Micah Parsons versus Memphis, like that's a
Hmm.
takeover tape right there. He demolished Stanford by himself. By himself, this guy just killed everybody. Had I don't even know how many tackles for losses he had in that game, how many sacks he had in that game. Very high IQ. He knows where the ball is going before it even gets there. Extremely rangy, and this guy is going to be on the field in dime situations. He's going to be that dime linebacker. Usually, a lot of times nowadays you're seeing safeties be that dime linebacker. They're going like to a big dime sort of set where they're putting the safety as that dime backer. This guy will be just fine as a dime backer. He's going to be a 3-down linebacker. He's going to be, passing downs, running downs. He does it all. Let me see any negatives here. Yeah, I put he can miss head-to-head open field tackles. Sometimes he pulls back on head-to-head tackles. Sometimes maybe he just fears sometimes like the running back is charging really hard and he just kind of pulls back a little bit, doesn't really lay his body out there. I guess that's a good and bad thing. And he is a little bit like I wouldn't say he's undersized because he's 6'3", 232. I mean, that's ideal linebacker there. But sometimes it feels like he's a bit undersized when he's like blitzing or like trying to shut up block. Sometimes he's not able to shut up block. And the offensive lineman just clearly is a lot stronger than him sometimes. So those are my biggest problems with Devin Lloyd. And obviously we can go into, he's not really, facing the best competition. I think he's in the Pac-12. I get my conferences mixed up all the time, but he's coming from Utah. I believe that's the Pac-12, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not really, I guess, playing the best competition there is. But the Pac-12 passes a lot. They are pass machines. They pass the ball a lot, and he's obviously very, very good at stopping the pass. Listen, I know a lot of people want to go Nakobe Dean as the number one just because, he's a Georgia Bulldog. They get a good rap and a good reputation with their linebackers, especially they're in one of the best, schools as far as, going into the NFL draft. Georgia is just their alumni is everywhere in the NFL, especially defensive players. The Giants would be one to know that because we just draft Georgia Bulldogs every single year on the defensive side of the football. So I understand that, and I'm not saying that Nakobe Dean would be the best inside linebacker in any of the other drafts that we mentioned.
When I look
Maybe
at Dean, bro, I low key see like Roquan when I see
Roquan
Nakobe
Smith.
Dean.
I was just about to say, maybe in a Roquan Smith draft, like Devin White, maybe he's right around that tier, maybe. But I seriously think Devin Lloyd's going to be great. I think he's better than Dean. I really do think he's better than Dean.
What Nate just said is why I'm more of a Nakobe Dean fan. Dean was more consistently good throughout all college, and whether that's competition level, whether that's program level, which is certainly a factor for sure, whether it's something else, I just saw more consistency out of him.
I would beg to differ,
But
man.
I'll say this though, what's his name? Lloyd has the size advantage because Lloyd is bigger. You could do more at 6'3". What was it, 230 something than you could. I think Dean is like
I mean,
6 flat or 6'1", 220 or something like that.
Yeah, and
So
it's crazy.
he has a
It's
size
crazy
advantage and length
it's
advantage.
crazy because Lloyd is bigger, but he's more slender. Nakobe Dean has more. It's weird maybe because he's shorter, maybe because he's shorter stature and he's only 10 pounds, 10 pounds lighter, and he's 3 inches smaller. Maybe that's why he looks bigger. But to me, it looks like, and this is not a knock on Nakobe Dean. It's just what it is. Nakobe Dean is just a little bit more stiff than a Devin Lloyd is. And that's not taking anything
Define
away
what you
from
mean by
Nakobe
stiff
Dean.
though, because I think
See,
he's.
yeah,
I think
when I
I was
say
about to
stiff,
say
people think
because
it's negative. It's
I think
not.
he's the more athletic of the two.
I don't think so. I think Devin Lloyd is more sideline to sideline.
Oh, this is we got like two opposite.
I think.
But
I think
sideline,
Lloyd,
that's just one part of athleticism though.
no,
Talking
no,
about
for sure.
leaping ability, stuff like that as
For
well.
sure, for sure. I think for Nakobe Dean's stature, I think he's just fine. He's incredibly athletic. I just think Devin Lloyd is just a tad bit more athletic. And people hear me say stiff and they think that's a negative automatically. I'm not saying he is stiff. I'm saying he's more stiff than Devin Lloyd. I'm not saying he is stiff. I'm saying he's more stiff than Devin Lloyd. I think Devin Lloyd is more he's more quick to react. Devin Lloyd to me is more quick to react, and he's a lot faster when breaking on the ball. Nakobe Dean to me is not as fast. So for lack of a better
Hold up.
word,
Breaking on the ball in what
oh
situations?
gosh,
I'm just saying. No, this is a good debate because you got two really good line, but in what situation?
You guys are making me. You guys are making me like argue that Nakobe Dean is a stiff player. That's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm okay. I'm right now. I'm referring specifically to the point. Would you say about breaking on the ball? I think was the words you used.
Breaking on the ball. I'm not saying he has a problem breaking on the ball. I'm not saying that at all.
Because what I would argue is that he's better. Like he's better at knowing where the ball is, especially I'll say this, especially against the run, bro. Against the run, especially.
I think Devin Lloyd's a better run defender.
What?
Yeah, I think he's a better run defender.
Now I'd give that to Dean, bro.
He's a tackle. Look at the tackle for losses that Devin Lloyd
has. I understand.
Dude.
I understand.
Dude, I don't look at stats when it comes to scouting. I don't. but it jumps off the page how much tackles for loss he has, dude. It's insane. He does it like
I
every freaking play.
I agree with you on those points, bro. Dean is like a
He's a monster. Dean's a monster.
part of it. You know what? It's
Dean is
part of what I
a
said last night
monster.
as well, bro. He doesn't get fooled easily. Like
He doesn't.
what
He
do you
doesn't.
call it? Whether that's football IQ or just instincts and whatnot, that plays
Mhm.
into his run defense as well. Like he always knows where the ball is.
I'm telling
What
you
up,
guys.
awesomeness and Adam,
I'm telling you guys,
AKS as
watch
well.
Devin Lloyd without thinking of Nakobe Dean. I'm telling you guys, just watch Devin Lloyd without thinking about and don't worry about who the competition he's facing and the team he plays for. Because people say Utah, they're automatically going to go to the Georgia player. I'm not saying that's what you're doing at all. I'm just saying that people are automatically going to gravitate to the Georgia player being better at that position because obviously they have a reputation. Utah players don't really have a good reputation, but
Listen, I'll
Devin
say this
Lloyd,
though.
man, I'm telling you right now, Devin Lloyd
The
is
entire, or
insane.
not the entire, but the middle linebacker class is a dream. Oh my god, the middle linebacker
Yeah,
class is so
yeah,
good,
yeah. And trust me, if we ended up with Nakobe Dean
bro.
somehow, some
You
way,
got
I
you,
would be jumping up too.
you
Trust
got
me.
Dean Lloyd Harris, who's kind of not being talked about that much, really. Then after Harris, you got the guy out of LSU whose name I'm forgetting, which is going against my point of listing him here, but you know who I'm talking about. You got Smith, you got Muma. Like there is linebackers galore for like the first
I'm
three
sure we'll
rounds.
end up with one. I'm sure we'll end up with one just because of Blake Martinez's situation, with the cap and stuff like that. And tr- you know, trust me, I like our middle linebacker situation a bit, but we definitely need to add
Nate,
somebody
I
else.
didn't
You know what I'm
realize
saying?
that you and Ash constitute majority of NFL fans, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I'm talking
Plenty of
about
talking
the
about Harris. We're
general
talking about in
fans, bro.
general.
We're talking about in general. But this is what I'll say right now, right? I
Oh,
want to get
here's
thoughts
the
from the chat.
yeah.
Drop one word in the chat to represent who you think is linebacker one, Dean or Lloyd. Just drop it right now. I'm gonna wait like maybe 30
Yeah.
seconds, a minute, and let's see what comes out. Try not to
I've been
spam. Go ahead.
what you call it? I've been looking at a lot of people's big board and stuff like that, and they're starting to slowly put Devin Lloyd ahead of Nakobe Dean. I'm seeing it now.
I'd say for the
I'm
past couple of
seeing it.
weeks, that's been the trend. He's been
Yeah,
moving up.
I've been saying that since day one, dude. I can't. I heard about Nakobe Dean much before I heard about Devin Lloyd. I didn't hear about Devin Lloyd until I actually started scouting players. I knew about Nakobe Dean already, and I knew he was going to be a fantastic player and probably top 15 as well. But then I turn on the tape for Devin Lloyd, man. And this may be me stargaze, but the first film I watched of him was against Stanford in the 2021 Stanford game. And my God, Kush, I'm talking about like almost every time the ball was snapped, he was in the backfield tackling somebody and angle tackles, man. Just like running backs trying to hit the outside, and he freaking dive tackles them from like 6 feet away or like 8 feet away, man. He just freaking dive tackles them. So I mean, he's special, man. I'm telling you, Devin Lloyd is special.
So
We
right
got we
now
got
it's
to
kind of
split.
it's
We got to
tied in
split.
chat. Yeah, I know. Miz commented twice, almost tricked me there with Lloyd twice, but it's actually
You're
tied when
good
I
at
counted
catching
it.
that because I'm just looking at the names. I'm not even looking at who's
Yeah,
getting
it's
it.
it's literally split right now. It's 50-50. So I mean, that just goes to show you,
They're
man. That
both gonna be great, man. I don't
and
think
then
it'll
Ash
be
just broke the
fair.
tiebreaker by going Lloyd because he didn't say anybody yet. So there you go. Lloyd is in the lead. Oh nope,
Yeah,
nope. Hazelnut ties it up. Hazelnut
isn't that
ties it up.
ties it up? It's close, man. And I'm not knocking Dean at all, man. I just think Lloyd is just a tad bit better, man. I
Hmm.
just feel like in the NFL, as far as how the game is in the passing league and especially running the ball too, like I think Devin Lloyd with that speed,
Okay,
man, is
Devin Lloyd takes
insane.
a lead with 2 more votes. Yeah, he's still in the lead with 1 vote now. Up three, yeah. Devin Lloyd. It's not big, but like he's ahead by a couple of votes, and now more
I
people
had
are chiming in.
I had to put my vote in, but but I'm telling you, man,
Yeah, I would be
Devin
happy
Lloyd's
with
gonna be
either one of
good.
them. I would definitely be happy with either one of them, no doubt. Now that leads me to uh, there was somebody else. Do you know about Christian Watson? Can we get into him at all? I admit
I
I haven't
haven't,
looked at it,
I know I
and
haven't
I
looked
said
at it.
I gotta
No.
look into him now because I've heard that name before, obviously through Giants Life. If anybody want to give us a little summary in chat, just drop that about Watson. Literally all I know about him: he wears number 1 and plays for North Dakota State University, participated in the Senior Bowl, and may or may not have caught the eye of the New York Giants.
What
I
is that, a
want to
wide
see around where
receiver?
he's go. Yeah, wide receiver. I want to see around what rounds
Well,
he's
let me
gonna
just
go.
throw out. I'm just gonna check his highlight. I'm not checking his tape right now, but I'll just check his highlights real quick, just to see what kind of player he is.
Hmm.
You say Christian Watson?
Yeah, Christian Watson.
He does have highlights.
Cincinnati cornerback, you talking about Sauce Gardner or Kobe Bryant? Because I love both of them.
Sauce Gardner, bro, is insane.
No, Sauce
You
Gardner.
check,
So you want to
dude.
talk about people slowly moving Devin Lloyd up as the number one? People are slowly moving Sauce Gardner up as the number one
Mm-hmm.
corner in the draft,
Yeah, I
and
think
some of that does have to do with
Stingley's
Stingley's
getting some
injuries, though.
flack. Yeah, Stingley's getting some flack too. And nobody can forget how Devontae Smith killed Stingley a couple years ago. Um, yeah, that's I'm looking at this dude right now, Christian Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, North Dakota. I know North Dakota State is not one of those small schools, but that's literally like the only school I'll be like, okay,
I just know North
I
Dakota
don't.
State because of Carson Wentz, bro.
Well, I know, yeah, I know he's part of it too. But there are plenty of players that come out of there, especially the quarterbacks. But there are plenty of players over there that come out of the draft.
While you take a quick look at him, I'll pose this next question to you since, cornerback got thrown up. How would you feel if the Giants take a corner at 7?
It's more of a need than I want it to be because of James Bradbury's situation. Like I said, like you mentioned earlier today, we're gonna be, getting rid of everybody. It's gonna happen, and we've got James Bradbury there, Adoree Jackson, and I'm sorry, I love Darnay Holmes. I know you love Darnay Holmes. He's just not cutting it, man. She's not cutting it. Aaron Robinson is not bad, but he's like a run. He's like a run defending nickel corner. He's not good in coverage. It's looking sad right now, man. We spent some good money, free agents on our 2 outside corners. We spent mid-round picks on our nickel corners, and we have Julian Love there to be a DB for us. He play safety and nickel, and it just doesn't look good. They're not performing. They're not performing. And if we get rid of James Bradbury, we keep Adoree Jackson as a potential number 1, which I'm pretty scared. Although he had a good season for us, I'm pretty scared about. Um, and then you
By the way, this
have
is a
Darnay
nice pivot
and
into one of the main topics I wanted to get into, which is how you think we're getting to that 40 mil.
yeah,
We're
I have no
we're
idea.
just gonna put black magic aside, which is what the Giants did last year to
Yeah,
get money.
definitely.
Because listen, I had the feeling that we weren't gonna do many restructures at all, because that's partly why we're in this situation in the first place, just pushing money back to what a year's. And then there was a couple reports that came out saying that the Giants are not exactly hot on doing any restructures right now. So I do think we're gonna lead more towards the cut/trade route. You saying we're gonna get rid of everybody? I mean, how do you see us getting to this 40 million?
I personally couldn't tell you, but I know that our higher the guys that Dave Gettleman signed for big money that have low dead cap are definitely gone. I don't know who specifics those players will be. Nate said, I don't know what you mean. Darnay Holmes isn't cutting it. He is not. He allows way too many receptions than I would want. I know he makes a play every once in a while. Darnay Holmes is not cutting it for me. I love Darnay, but it sucks for me to say. But you got super chat, man. I gotta hit that.
Yeah, shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, "Salute, Kush. Drive by your office to pay our proper respects, and for all Giants fans around the world, slap all stinky boys losers out the door. Forget about it." Thank you, Tudo. Appreciate the support. Very consistent, man. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you too, though. But
And then I'll say this: I
yeah.
don't necessarily agree with the first part of Ash's statement, but I completely agree with the second one. I think that for this year, because of priorities, we can kind of stow drafting a corner or getting a star corner to next year. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I would be kind of upset, to be honest, if we get it. I love Sauce Gardner. I love. Oh, you know a guy I love? Freaking this guy, Andrew Booth. Oh man, Andrew Booth is under. Nobody talks about him as much
Out of
because I know.
Clemson?
Yeah, out of Clemson. I mean, everybody acknowledges him as like a top 3 corner, but just nobody. Everybody talks about Gardner and Stingley. Nobody's talking about Booth, individually. But Booth is going to be a really good corner too. Um, but although those players are really good players, man, it's just not my priority. It's just not my priority. I don't want to keep going corners. I don't want to keep going wide receivers. Although those stuff would be nice, we really have to focus on what the big problem is with this team, and it's the trenches, man. We have to focus on the trenches. Definitely. We can definitely suffice with having an average cornerback, and we could always draft corners. Are one of the positions you could find anywhere, to be honest with you. I mean, the good corners, of course, are in the first round. The special corners are in the first round. But man, you see everywhere. Look at the 49ers. Look at how they get their corners. I mean, they find them everywhere, man. You can find corners anywhere.
And shout out to Tudo for a $10 super chat. He says, please pray for our upcoming game and also pray for the opposing team's casualties. I don't know about that one, bro. Because no turning back once in the cage against the Hulk. Stronger always conquers and the losers cart off. We keep hospitals busy. I'll certainly keep you in mind for the success. I don't know if I could, do on somebody's physical downfall like that, Tudo. I can't promise that.
Physical
But I
downfall.
appreciate it, man. Thank you. I don't know about you. You gonna do the physical downfall?
No, 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 no. No.
Okay, but go ahead. Did I interrupt you or what happened?
No, I mean, that's all I want to say. Like you asked me about how do I feel about
Potential
getting a
corner at
corner?
7, yeah.
Yeah, corner at 7. I mean, I I can't imagine. First of all, I don't think maybe Gardner will be there, right? But with all the hype that we're seeing, maybe he won't be there. You know what I'm saying? But even if he's there, who are you prioritizing Gardner for? I mean, maybe Cross. Maybe I could understand. Maybe you try to go best player available. That also fits a need. Maybe you go Gardner over Cross.
Hmm.
I just wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't want to get sucked up into saying, Gardner's a special corner. I get all of that. But how many times are we just gonna not acknowledge that the trenches are what really needs to be fixed for this franchise to actually start moving in the right direction? I know, and people keep saying, "Wait till the second round, wait till the third round." How many times have we been doing that? We've been doing that. It's not working. It's not working. Having to get like a Matt Parrott in the third round, a freaking
O'Shane
Leonard
Zimenez.
from what's it like Leonard
O'Shane
O'Shane Zimenez
Zimenez.
and this dude Lorenzo Carter. I don't know why I
This
say Leonard.
dude. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
is there a chance we give him a flyer deal based off of his recent performance? And let me ask you, do you think that was because, it's, the classic athlete argument, oh, contract year, maybe he's showing out, or I think it is pretty realistic that he just fully recovered from the Achilles at that point.
He's a free agent now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Huh. Um, with the cap situation, I don't imagine we bring him back unless he takes a bare minimum deal as a prove it deal because he did injure himself. Um, I would have to. I would think about that. I would think about that one, but we're such in a tight cap situation. We have younger players. We still have our boy, the Miami kid, Quincy Roche. We still got some younger talent um, that are obviously going to be cheaper. I wouldn't mind keeping Lorenzo Carter around. Don't get me wrong. If we were in a better cap situation, maybe we have like freaking $30 million at least or something like that. I would be like, okay, just throw him some money, keep him around for a 1 year and see what happens as a rotational guy. But it'll be hard. It'll be hard to keep someone like Lorenzo Carter around because I mean he has good potential. I mean he's never had more than like 6 sacks in a season, right? He's had I think his most like 5.5, right?
Yeah. I mean, the season that would have been good, he got the Achilles, which is why I'm saying maybe he just
Yeah,
fully recovered from it towards the end of that season there.
yeah.
Which kind of brings
And
me
it
to my
all,
next. Oh, go ahead.
but yeah, real quick, it all depends on Joe Shane because it's not like he's been here to really
Yep.
develop and be
Yep.
there with Lorenzo Carter. So he may just see him as a cut your losses type of thing. So
I was
dang man,
exactly about to say with Joe Shane and Brian Dable, what kind of expectations are you holding this year? This might be a question that's too early to ask, I admit, because
very
we
very.
haven't even we don't have a set roster in place. But I think that we should not have any type of expectations. I think we should just be like, hey, let's look for
Yeah,
good coaching. Let's
yeah.
look for good roster building. There's not really a
It's really
criteria to
gonna
judge either of them, by the way.
It's really gonna be a waste of time trying to speculate what their mindset is because we have nothing to base it off of at all. Because this is the first time these two people, Brian Dable and Joe Shane, have been in their positions. It's not like we can judge based off other previous experiences that they had. We don't know anything. So the day what is it like March 12th or so? I think every year is like March 12th when free agency begins, right? Something like that. March, something like mid
It's
March.
funny. Somebody literally told me last night, and I already forgot what date it was. But it's March
it's
something.
it's it's definitely mid March, and whenever that day hits, we don't know. And on top of it, I'm looking at I saw an article, a projected like salary cap for going into this season. We are like negative 12 million in projected cap or something like that. How the hell are they gonna? We should even be talking about who the Giants are gonna sign. How about they just clean up the cap space first, and then we'll talk about it. We're talking about all these other free agents that we think about bringing in. We don't even know who the hell we're bringing back in, but something's got to give, man. Something's got
Hey,
to
we
give.
better we better re-sign Austin Johnson now.
Dude, you know what's crazy? We were all pissed off that Austin Johnson came back and he balled. Remember how many times did we call a game with Austin Johnson? He was the only, remember I would always highlight him? He's the only pass rusher running after the quarterback out the pocket. Like he's a defensive
Listen,
tackle.
our
I
defensive
liked
tackle
Austin
room is
Johnson,
weak,
man.
bro. All right, our defensive tackle room is extremely weak right now. It's
I
literally
liked
just,
Austin Johnson.
it's
I really
literally
did.
just Dexter and Leo. We need him back, bro. We need to have a
think
legit
he
starting three.
I think he far exceeded his contract and far exceeded our expectations.
I think we could get him back on the same contract.
Austin
Honestly,
Johnson.
I don't know unless teams were looking at him
He
like that
may
if we're gonna target him.
he may want a bigger one just because of the production he had. Because remember, he was like more of a rotational guy with Tennessee, and his first year with us, he was a more rotational guy too. But he really had a big role last year, and he did not disappoint. So he may be just sitting there like, "Hey, I know you're new here, Joe Shane, but I kind of did a number last year, so." Hit me in with them big numbers. Or not a big number, obviously, but bigger than obviously his
He
other
was on
contract.
around a $3 million deal. I mean, honestly, how much do you really think he's gonna ask for?
Maybe 5.
I would give him 5. I would give him
Yeah, yeah,
5.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would too, but he's definitely gonna ask more than his previous contract because he just produced more. His agent, of course, is gonna make him ask for more because he produced more. It's just reality of the situation.
Yeah. Do you think do you think Shane tries to restructure Leo? If Leo's down for it, I guess. But like I was saying
Um,
earlier, I don't know how much they're gonna be restructuring because it's a big reason why we're here in the first place with negative $12 million in cap. The Giants were one of the worst
yeah.
teams in the league, in terms of cap space, but we were one of the worst teams in the league performing wise. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I really want to stay away from restructuring, man, because all you're doing restructuring is just a fancy way of saying backloading. It's just you're backloading all your contracts, you're stretching them out throughout the seasons, and although at the
And yeah,
in the
you could turn
moment,
some of them into bonuses, but it's like only
yeah,
so much.
in the moment, it's good, right? To free up some cap space because we were all excited every time that they restructured the contract. We were able to clear up some more cap space. So we're like, okay, maybe we could bring some more talent in here. But then now we're in this situation. You look at like the New Orleans Saints. You look at like the Philadelphia Eagles. They're all in a similar situation where they backloaded, and now you're struggling to find any sort of free agents to make your roster or pay anybody or resign anybody rather. And that's just you and look at the state that Dave Gettleman left this franchise in. Leaving Joe Shane to kind of figure this all up out and clean it up. I really want to stay away from restructuring. If we have to, I guess we have to, right? If there's no other way around it, I could see situations in which there is no other way around it, where we're cutting players, the dead cap is not adding up, and we're spending too much on dead cap. We just have to restructure. I get that part. Because like we said it all the time back in the day, back a couple of months ago that, there are only a handful of Giants projected to, still on contract in the next coming years. If not, like none of them are besides
Hmm.
the rookies coming in. But,
Quan, I have a call-in stream
at some point it'll get
every
better.
Tuesday. He's saying he wants to join every Tuesday, man. Had one last night. Anybody
Yep.
could click the link and call in. You'd be surprised at the amount of people that don't call in, actually. So if you really want to come in and share your thoughts every Tuesday, bro, come on in. That's what
People
I'm
are just
saying, Ash.
nervous.
Dave Gelman, how are we one of the worst teams in cap space, but we were one of the worst teams in general? That's not adding up, bro. That makes no sense. Which is why I'm like,
Dude, you
the
know what's
more and more
crazy?
me and you look back at it, I'm like, yo,
Dude,
this
when I
last
did
year that Gelman spent here has to be some of the worst general managing in football ever.
Dude, when I say what comes around goes around, dude, you know when I made my one skit ever, right? I kept like ranting on it and just kept beating up on the Eagles how they really paid for a team just to go like what was their record 2 years ago? It was like 4-12, was it or something like that? No,
Something like
was it
that,
4?
yeah. I don't
Something
know,
like
man.
that.
It was not good.
It was terrible, but I was like, I said that in that skit. I was like, who did you pay? Because you guys are just like, you guys suck and you guys have no cap space. You guys are looking for money. And now we're in the exact situation. Who are we paying? Who are we paying to make this team better? And look at the record that we had this year, man.
Mm-hmm.
Holy 4-13? 4-13, right? Oh my god. That's crazy, man.
Mike Gorga says Carter hand fights with the O line. He doesn't shed well. I'm assuming towards Lorenzo Carter there. Let's see. Luan, what's up? How you doing? Rondre says I think we already restructured him once. Now that I think about Leo. There's
No,
no way
not
we already
Leo.
restructured Leo.
No.
I
We
don't
didn't do
think so. He
anything with
was
Leo.
signed last year.
He just got signed. There's no way
Yeah.
we restructured.
Max says, do you think Bradbury Martinez will be willing to rip up the current contracts and sign for guaranteed money, especially with Martinez coming off injury?
Is that possible? Can you rip up a contract
I
and just
didn't know
start a
that
new
was possible. I
contract?
was about to ask that.
Because I would imagine if they're both in mutual agreement. Remember, this is not Dave Gettleman. This is Joe Shane now. What if Joe Shane sat with these two players and said, "Hey, I hate these contracts. If you guys mutually agree and your agent mutually agrees, can we rip up these contracts and just create new contracts?" I don't know if that's possible because I think they have to literally be cut first and then hit the waiver wire and then come
If
back
they
to
have
it.
to hit the waiver wire, doesn't that mean they have to pass through the waiver wire?
Yeah.
Which means that's not happening. I don't know if
They're
that's
not coming
happening.
back. Here's the thing.
Yo, Mike,
How do we know?
I mean, Max, I'm
I have a
sorry. Definitely
question.
explain that to us, man. Put a
I have
comment
a
explaining.
question. I have a question. There are some players, and I've been trying to figure this out. There are some players that don't hit waiver wires. Like, how do you get qualified or disqualified from hitting a waiver wire? Because it's not experience. Because I've seen older players with bigger contracts hit the waiver wire and be claimed, and I see younger players do it too. I don't. How do we know who hits the waiver and who doesn't? Because I've seen like there are situations with like maybe even most recently I'm trying to think of some player, but players that get cut and then just get re-signed, or you know what I'm saying, the players that get cut and immediately get re-signed, there's no way they hit the waiver wire and made it through the waiver wire. And like a player like Odell, when Odell Odell never got cut, he was always traded. There was another like top tier player that didn't hit waiver wires. He was just able to pick where he wanted to go. I can't remember. How do we know who hits the waiver and who doesn't? I don't know.
You're asking the wrong dude, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just asking.
This is why there's mock drafts
hypotheticals
and not mock free agents. I mean,
I think the
like
waiver wire
happened?
is in season thing only. I don't think so. The waiver wire. I don't think it's only in season. Maybe. Actually, you may be right, Max. You may be right.
Hey man, listen, we got 71 people in here. Y'all better hit that like button as you coming in, bro. 39 likes.
I think he actually may be right because free agency happens, and then players are obviously able to decide where they want to go. But I thought that was just for players with expiring contracts, not players with contracts. I feel like if you have an existing contract and it's then voided, I imagine that you're going to hit the waiver wire. I don't think you just become a free agent, but
all I know is that there's 71 people in here right now. Y'all are watching.
Hit that like button, guys. Come on, man. Hit that like button. You guys don't understand how much that like button actually helps us a lot. It helps us with that algorithm, man. It helps us get this stream out to everybody. I know YouTube used to do this thing a long time ago where you could actually see like in your like notifications, you could see what a certain player certain channel liked. But I know they don't do that anymore. But it definitely still helps, guys, with the like button. So definitely hit that like button. Helps out a lot.
Listen, man, the YouTube algorithm is one of the worst things to ever exist in the history of existing,
terrible.
bro.
If you guys use TikTok, dude, TikTok has one of the best algorithms I've ever seen. Like it literally, whatever you like, that's all you see. Why the hell is YouTube behind they like created this freaking algorithm thing, man? Like ever since like they used to have a monopoly on this.
I created a TikTok account for the channel. I've only made one video. I probably should get back to that and make a couple.
I probably should start doing that. But
getting off of that depressing topic of YouTube algorithms.
Oh God, it's
and
so
whatnot
hard to
though.
out.
Hey, thank you for those of you that hit. I see Quan and Mark Primetime saying that they would up Yuvraj. How you doing?
Appreciate
the next
it, guys.
thing I guess I got to get to. We covered mock. Oh, Daniel Jeremiah's top 10 mock. Did you see that? It was floating around a little bit.
It was
he caught a bit of flack for it, and he's been clapping back as well. He's been responding to a lot of Twitter stuff.
Listen, one thing I will say.
Listen, I respect Daniel Jeremiah a lot though, man.
Too.
He's one of the best like media personnel out there with scouting and whatnot.
Dude, man, I listen to this dude, even though some of this stuff I think is ridiculous. He was one of the only people saying that Jamar Chase was going to go to Cincinnati and work out, and it happened. He was the one that started that. So because everybody was saying Penny Sewell at the time. I listened to the Move the Sticks podcast. Not as much as I would like to, but definitely I respect the hell out of Daniel Jeremiah. I listen to what he says, but Drake London, bro.
Did you see what he said? A Giants fan said, yeah, because we're taking a wide receiver at 8. And he said, "My bad. I forgot that your leading wide receiver had 521 yards and 0 touchdowns." I'm like, "You're not wrong. You didn't have to say it like
savage,
that.
Bro.
You're not
What a freaking
wrong."
savage. One thing I will
Yo,
tell you is one thing I
wait,
will
hold on,
tell you
hold on.
is
Let me finish.
yeah,
Because y'all know that Stephen A. clip, bro. You're not wrong. You don't gotta say it like that. But no, I'm sorry, Daniel Jeremiah. I don't think that we're taking a wide receiver with the 7th overall pick. I think Giants fans
no,
would
I
have
think that
a
was our
lot
number
of right.
5. What that was our number 5.
No, no,
wasn't
number
it?
5 was Trevon Walker, and then he had us
Trayvon
taking
Walker,
Drake
okay.
London at 7. So
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
listen, bro, Giants fans have a right to be angry if we're taking Trevon Walker
Dude,
at
I
5
would
and
even
Drake
take
London
Garrett.
at 7.
I would even take Garrett Wilson at 7, dude. I don't like this wide receiving class. Honestly, I honestly think that Jamison Williams might be the better of the three. Nobody's talking about him as much. I honestly think Jamison Williams. There was another wide receiver I've seen.
By the
that I
way, for those of you that
liked.
don't know, this was his mock draft 2.0 picks 1 to 10 in order, right? So he had Jacksonville at 1 taking Evan Neal. All right, makes sense. Number 2, Detroit taking Aiden Hutchinson. All right, makes sense. Number 3 at Houston taking Kyle Hamilton. All right, makes sense. Number 4 at the Jets taking Akeem Ekwonu. All right, makes sense. So Kayvon Thibodeaux was at 5, and he has us taking Trevon Walker. All right.
Where the hell did he come from?
Then he has Trevor Penning. That's a really big jump going to the Panthers at 6. Kayvon Thibodeaux still on the board at 7. And we take Drake London. And then Kayvon Thibodeaux goes to Atlanta at 8. Then Jermaine Johnson, 9 to the Broncos. Ahmad Garner at 10 to the Jets. I'm just like, why, bro? Why? Why?
It would have been more respectable to see Garrett Wilson over there. And I don't even like Garrett Wilson like that. I really don't. I hate these wide receivers this year, man. I don't like them at all. The top ones, like Jamison Williams, I think is probably Drake London is more of a number 1 guy, right? But he's just like he reminds me a lot of Michael Pittman. And Michael Pittman, although Michael Pittman was a 2nd-round pick, so that's why I don't really care. Michael Pittman is gonna be a good number 1 for Indianapolis. He's a really good safety blanket, but I don't know how I feel about getting a guy like think about drafting Michael Pittman 7th overall. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. And I like Drake London. I think Drake London is he's a production dude, bro. I mean, he's targeted like all the time and always comes up with the football, extremely nimble on his feet. I like Drake London, man, but I don't like him that much. I don't like him that much. I think Drake London in last year's draft, people are saying Drake London is the best receiver. I think Drake London is probably the best receiver in this draft. Him or I don't know. Maybe Garrett Wilson is up there too. Maybe I just don't like Garrett Wilson for another reason. I don't know why, but Drake London. It's a shame that he's one of the best receivers in this draft because last year he would be like freaking below Kadarius Toney. I mean,
don't use Kadarius Toney as a measuring stick. Kadarius
Toney was top 5.
Kadarius Toney is gonna be the best wide receiver in the NFL in a couple years, bro.
But Young Joker was top 5. He was the 5th best receiver. How is Drake London the best receiver in this draft and like 6th in last year's draft?
Last year's draft was stacked at receiver. I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say, but use another year, bro. Like it was stacked at receiver last year.
If forget about the talent of the prospects in each draft, that's like clean slate. Like where in what round would you see a player going? Drake London in any other draft, a regular schmegular draft, I think Drake London is a late 1st round to 2nd round pick. That's what I think he is. There's no way that a guy like
all right, so if y'all been following current events, you know that Russia has been on Ukraine's border for a long time now.
What the hell just happened,
and the memes picked up about World War III actually happening. As of 7 minutes ago, Russia began military action, launching strikes on Ukraine.
Holy crap.
We
are seeing World War III.
Damn, what the hell? Bro, that thing escalated quickly.
War started on every channel.
That escalated quickly. Oh my god. Bro.
Wow. Turn on my TV.
Am I about to get drafted?
Am I about to get drafted? Not to the NFL, boy.
Yo, focus on the wrong draft, bro. We in February talking about mock drafts. We're focused on the wrong draft, bro. What?
Yeah, mock draft with the 1st overall pick. United States selects Kush.
Bro, if I'm the 1st overall pick, we lose it, bro. What are you talking about, bro?
Yo, Me and you gonna be in a chopper like this. Hey, bro, this the wrong draft. You're not in the right draft, bro.
Ooh. Yo, this is a football stream, I know that. But as current events, this is crazy.
Oh, yep.
Russia
Ukraine issues
officially
state of
just took
emergency.
military action against
Literally, as
Ukraine.
soon as I turn on the TV,
This
that's what
is
I'm
not
saying.
an exaggeration. This is literally World War III, bro. Because U.S. is gonna get pulled in.
Oh yeah,
Oh
we are
my
for
God.
sure.
Yo, I
Holy
know y'all
crap.
don't want politics. How you expect me to avoid
He said less.
politics
He said
when
less
when
politics.
World War
This
III
is
is
a
gonna
lie.
happen,
We're
bro?
gonna get-
What?
I don't want to say the word because I'm demonetized, dude. It's gonna get bad, bro. We're all gonna be affected. This possibly is World War III, dude. This possibly is World War III, man. And I'll be honest, I'm not completely educated on the situation at hand, but I've definitely been hearing about it over the past couple of months.
Brother. Oh,
People
brother.
said it was inevitable. People were saying it's gonna happen. People were saying
Oh
it's
my
going to happen.
God, bro. I'm scared, bro. Bro.
Look at Putin, just like not affected at all. He's just like chilling.
Bro. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted, y'all, but like, damn. Okay, then Max, I'm gonna trust you. Max is a military man, bro. I
Oh,
hope
he
so.
is. This would not ensue a draft.
Oh,
But what if it's like I know we're not we're just joking about World War III, but okay, Max, if this was actually World War III, like there's
bro, this
no
man
higher
Miz just said
degree.
our gas prices is about to be.
What's a
Bro. First of all, our gas prices are already horrendous, but why is that what you're thinking about, bro?
Imagine that we're in World War III and the most thing you're thinking about is the gas prices. Oh my God, $5 a gallon. Oh God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, yeah, but Max, what if, there's no higher degree than World War, right? So what if World War III, what if this was actual World War III? I mean, at what point will they ensue a draft? Like, at what point
I
will
know
this...
why Max is saying we won't need to because the U.S. military is absolutely huge, right? Like,
But we're in
it
World
has a
War. We
lot
haven't,
of
we
people in it.
haven't, remember, we haven't had a World War since the 40s. So
I know, but bro,
even
I can look up
Vietnam
how
wasn't a
much
World
infantry
War.
does the U.S. military have, bro?
Yeah, but even Vietnam wasn't a World War, man. And Vietnam was pretty bad.
Bro, the U.S. What?
What?
Hold up, this
We're
gotta be
screwed.
wrong,
We're
bro.
screwed.
Bro, hold up,
There are
hold
only
up.
about 300,000 military.
Okay, thank God, bro. There's like 1.4 million. So like, I get why he's not saying that. There's 1.4 million active soldiers
Okay,
or active duty
who's
dudes,
on Russia's side right now? Is what I want to know.
bro.
They're not communists no more, so I mean, let's be real. They're not commies no more, so it's not like China's gonna be on their side, right?
I don't know. According to Google, Russia also has. Russia don't have 1.4. They have like less than 1.1, but greater than
But they
1.
got nuclear. I mean, maybe
So
we
do
do
we,
have better.
bro.
Yeah, but I don't know who's got better. And
Listen,
Putin is kind
bro.
of showing his hand. Putin been showing his hand lately. He literally said, "We got the nuclear power to get
USA,
this done."
USA,
USA.
USA, USA.
Let me see.
Listen,
The U.S. and Russia are two superpowers to contain nuclear warheads. The next real world war will be less involving people and more of our launch explosions. Okay, that's
bro.
great.
Yo, this is vile. So y'all
Max,
know.
that is great. Florida's gonna get hit, man. Oh God, we're
I'm
right
just gonna
next to
say
the
this.
shore, bro.
I'm just gonna say this real quick, right? The World War III memes are back. I always found them hilarious. They're still gonna be hilarious to me, but they're also gonna now come with a much darker backtone and undertone. Prayers to the people in Ukraine, obviously, but I just saw this tweet that is both absolutely horrible, and I condemn the person that tweeted it, but I'm also laughing on the inside. Somebody said send Nate Soldier to the front line.
Nate Soldier. Nate Soldier became Nate Soldier real quick.
Bro.
Oh God, let me not say that. I'm sorry, Nate
Oh
Soldier. I
no.
didn't mean that.
Why is this
I had to.
happening?
Max, but how are you supposed to make us feel better with that, man? You're like, it's okay. We'll use nuclear weapons. We're not gonna use people. That doesn't make me feel better, bro. I live in Florida, man. We are an easy target. Okay, we are right on the freaking.
All
We
right.
got the
Let's
coast.
pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes.
The
All right.
Coast Guard's gonna be
KB,
defending us, but...
KB. Let's pump the brakes, Gio. Florida's deserve to be destroyed anyway, bro. Like, what are we losing,
man,
bro?
Listen, I don't claim the people here, okay? I just live here, all right?
You're right. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. With the amount of stuff that's been going on with China and Taiwan, I'm not surprised if that's the next move, bro. This is. Oh my God.
Listen, man. I know we got the Coast Guard on our side. The Coast Guard all over Florida, man. They're all over the peninsula, okay? They're everywhere. So the Coast Guard better. I trust y'all with my life, man. Trust y'all with my from Russia. No real threat in Florida isn't. Okay,
All
they're
right, all
like,
right.
but okay, so
Listen.
Russia's like more
I
near Alaska. Oh, damn, Russia's gonna bomb Alaska.
You think we don't have troops stationed there, bro? You think we stupid?
It's Alaska, man. They got a lot of Eskimos over there,
Bro,
man.
listen, you clearly forgot when Sarah Palin said back in the day she could see Russia, bro. Anyway,
I know you can.
let's actually do try and steer it back.
Yeah. No,
Like,
now I'm seeing news about manatees. Okay, back to Florida news. Back to
all
Florida.
right,
No joke. I'm not even lying. Look. It's news about they went from Putin
listen,
to
bro.
manatees.
Shout out to manatees. Manatees
That's Florida for you,
are
man. We don't give a
cute.
damn.
All right, they're one of those animals that are cute that look like they probably could give a good hug if they could. You know what I mean? So
Oh, they try to.
shout out to manatees, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even know where we go now with the
I don't know,
the
man.
Giants and the NFL
we just
topics.
shifted to manatees,
Hey,
man.
oh my God! Did you see the drop in viewers since we started talking about? Bro, we dropped like 20 viewers. God
Oh,
damn.
damn, they got scared, bro.
They got scared. All right, listen. All right, guys. Somebody throw a
Simba!
topic on board.
We're going to World War III.
Somebody throw a topic in chat because I am understandably a bit shaken and distracted right now. Understandably.
Yeah.
We draft. Wide receiver.
Drake London. All right, Drake London. We're getting Drake London, guys.
What do you think about Trevon Walker, bro? He's been rising.
I haven't scouted him yet because he's been
Nice.
rising. Nice. I haven't scouted him yet. We could talk about how much I think David Ojabo is gonna struggle.
Oh, let's talk about that because we got a David Ojabo fan in the chat.
I know. I've seen somebody talk about David Ojabo. That's why I kind of like egged it on a little bit.
Yeah. So let's do that, and then we did get a couple questions from chat that we'll address right after.
Okay, David Ojabo. Okay. When are we going to stop looking at players' speed, man? When are we going to stop doing this? Okay. We do it every year. Look how fast he is off the line. It doesn't matter, man. He's one of the most raw prospects I've ever seen at the edge rusher position projected in the first round. Do I think he's a first round player? I actually think he is. Crazy. I actually think he is. But golly, why does everybody think he's going to tear up the league now, man? On top of that, he was the number 2 pass rusher. Aiden Hutchinson was the bigger guy. David Ojabo was not facing double teams.
Listen, I'll say this, bro. One thing I'll say about Ojabo, because I do like him a bit more than you do, but his potential, just like Thibodeaux, is also crazy through the roof.
It is crazy through the roof, but speed rusher, honestly, if I'm being honest with you, man, speed rushers don't have success in the NFL. It's hard. I mean, name like really good, like light, the weak speed rushers. Like he's a weak side, like he has one position, weak side 3-4 edge rusher. How many of those are really successful in the league? Not much.
I'm trying to. Von Miller's not a speed rusher right now.
No. It's hard to find one. Like, look at Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd is like okay,
which is part of the reason I'd want a guy like Karlaftis. I know you guys are tired of hearing that. Next to Aziz, who is a kind of Aziz is not just a speed rusher, but just like Thibodeaux. Thibodeaux is not just a speed rusher as well, which is why I'll be completely fine with him. No question.
He's not a speed rusher.
But Ojabo, you're saying. You view him as just only a speed rusher. He
is just a speed rusher. He's a weak side 3-4 edge rusher. That is literally his only position I ever see him playing in the NFL. And that's it. And that's when you have to confine a player to one position, especially an edge rusher, he can't move in schemes. That's concerning to me, man. Melvin Ingram is not a speed rusher. Melvin Ingram is not a speed rusher. He's a 3-4 edge rusher, yes, but he's not a speed rusher. I'm talking about tweeners. You know, Paul Dottino, our friend of the show, Paul Dottino. That's crazy to say. I love that. Why do you say it like that?
What?
Why do you look like that? Why do you go?
Bro, I can't even look over to you now.
You're just like, yeah, Paul Dottino. Don't say his name. Why'd you say that like that? But anyway.
Yo, this man, gold medal and jumping to conclusions? What?
Anyway, friend of the show, Paul Dottino, used to have this thing back in Big Blue Kickoff Live that I remember to this day. He called guys like Leonard Floyd tweeners, like the in-betweeners, guys that are like these linebackers that are really skinny and like speed rusher guys. David Ojabo is one of those guys, and it's very hard to like envision them having success in the league, and they don't really have success in the league, man, to be honest with you. They have a lot of college success because they're facing up against slower, weaker, not as technically sound tackles. And then when they get to the NFL, they're facing these bigger, smarter tackles that are stronger it's going to be a lot harder for David Ojabo to. And remember, like I just mentioned, Aiden Hutchinson was eating up the double team, sometimes triple teams. Okay, and he was still getting David Ojabo. I don't think I ever saw David Ojabo get a double team before, and he still wasn't as successful as Aiden Hutchinson was. Um, Ojabo has little to no hand technique or little to no pass rush moves at all. It's just bend and run around. That's pretty much David Ajabo's bread and butter. He's good at it. Don't get me wrong, he's good at it. But man, like you look at guys like Tack McKinley. Tack McKinley was like a bigger butt speed rusher. Tack McKinley, in my opinion, was like a
Yo, what
speed
happened to
rusher.
Tack? Isn't he a free agent right now?
Dude, he hasn't been in the NFL in the God knows how
I was about
long.
to say
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at and another Atlanta defensive end, Vic Beasley. Vic Beasley, and that wasn't a speed rush. He was bigger. Don't get me wrong, but he had a lot of speed. He had that one year where he led the NFL in sacks, and he just dropped off the map. Like guys that really just prioritize speed over anything that are edge rushers. Speed is great. Don't get me wrong. You got to have technique. You got to have some strength too, especially in the NFL. Got to have some strength, and you're not going to get away with it with just being fast. And that's all David Ojabo just learned how to play football. He doesn't even know how to play football yet. And although he's a first round talent and doesn't know how to play football, which is great, well, you can't really say that he's ever going to learn how to be a great pass rusher because he just started. You can't speculate that much. But yeah, Ramjay just said Ojabo was a cleanup guy. Hutch got doubled. Ojabo cleaned up. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it was, Ramjay. He's going to be drafted in the first round, and I'm not mad he's going to be drafted in the first round. I just don't think he's going to have any. Look at Jason Oweh. Jason Oweh's a speed rusher. I would consider Jason Oweh a speed rusher. I think he's getting better, but is Jason Oweh going to be one of like the top pass rusher, or Odafe Oweh going to be one of like the top pass rushers in the league? No, he had his concerns coming out the NFL. I think David Ojabo is more raw than he is, but David Ojabo is getting more hype than Odafe because Ojabo is faster. Ojabo is just much faster. That's what jumps off the screen for people. But I would say Odafe is better than or was better day one than David Ojabo was. And Odafe went all the way to the back end of the first, right? Back
So
end of the first?
yeah, he did. So getting to these couple questions from the chat right here, right? Rare Name says, talk about the Giants' targets at inside linebacker, and then where do you think we should take one? We kind of touched upon it. I believe our targets at inside linebackers are like the top 5, top 6 inside linebackers in the draft. So that's your Dean, that's your Lloyd, that's your Muma, that's your Smith, that's your Harris. I think those are like the top 5. That's, once again, still forgetting the name, bro's name out of LSU. Apologize.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
And then in terms of target, where are we targeting them? Anywhere from the first to third round. Anywhere from the first to third round. Michael says, do the Giants draft a quarterback in the later rounds? What do you think about that, KB?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely gonna. We have 9 picks, dude. So we're gonna get what we need. My only thing is that I just don't want one first round. Um, we're gonna get a corner just because, like I said, we don't know what's happening with what I think Adoree stays because he had a lot of dead cap. James Bradbury's kind of probably gonna be on his way out of here. And we'll probably try to draft the corner in here. Remember, we have young talent on this roster still. Like I mentioned before, we still have Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, Adoree Jackson, veteran but still pretty young. Rodarius Williams as well. Okay, we still got to see what we have from him. I'm not, expecting him to be anything great, but he still, I think, would be still pretty decent depth. So, I mean, we still have talent on this roster. We just need to add probably 1 or 2 more corners, whether that be in free agency or the draft. But yeah, we're definitely going to address corner in this draft. I would think so.
And then let me see here, scrolling down. Why is it so hard to scroll in the StreamYard app? Let's see. Guess the NFL isn't going oh, that was a question. Ramdre says, I'm a Michigan fan. He benefited from Hutchinson being there. Then we talked about, I think that was it. And then you talked about everybody else, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yo, y'all are coming in with these World War III jokes, bro. NPZ says, do you guys think Aziz is a speed rusher? I so no, but he does. I think it's part of his game. He has more to it.
Part of his game, but he's
like Lorenzo was more speed than Aziz was. Aziz is more than
that's
Lorenzo.
Another. I can't believe I forgot that. But Lorenzo Carter coming out the draft was a speed rusher. He was a tweener. He was like a Leonard Floyd type guy. But and you look at Lorenzo Carter where he's at right now. You know what I'm saying? So although he has a lot of potential, still, he got drafted 4 years ago, and we're still saying he has a lot of potential. It's just that these tweeners, these speed rushers, they have a hard time hitting their stride in the NFL. They have physical traits that get it done. They have some plays that can wow you, but man, it's harder to get really consistent when you're that weak because you're that smaller. You're more thinner, light on your feet, and that's so you can bend and get off the edge a lot quicker. But you need the strength, man, to keep up with these tackles, man, because these tackles are stronger in the NFL. They're way more technically sound. They have way better hand techniques. They know a lot of pass rush moves. Okay, they know what you're going to use against them, and so they're just a lot better. The tackles are a lot better than a lot of these young edge rushers.
Mm-hmm. And then was that it? I think that was about it. Brandon says, "What do you think about the NFL?" Oh yes, I love the NFL XFL deal because I think a lot of people have been saying they should use the XFL as a sort of a developmental league. I know that's not what the deal is. The deal is more so they're working together to make the game safer, kind of working on rules and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's kind of step one in my opinion. I think they are going to start to use the XFL as a type of developmental league. I was a big fan of the XFL. I was a fan and supporter of the Guardians. I really like it. I am a fan of the USFL as well. I'm not sure which team I'm going to support. I was just going to go with the Generals, but I'm like, hey, maybe I go with somebody else because I always just support New York teams. Like, but maybe I stick with the Generals. But one of my dream one day is to have a mini Super Bowl between the XFL and USFL. And the NFL also takes talent from the USFL. But I love that deal, man. I can't wait for the XFL to be back. And I don't know, guess your general thoughts on that and with the USFL starting back up.
The US, here's the thing. When the AAF made their thing, I was very excited, and I actually kept up with the AAF for a couple weeks and then just died out. I'm such an NFL dude. Although from the outside looking in, it's nice to have other football leagues to watch, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be as invested as I am the NFL.
I
It's
mean,
going to be
well,
hard.
it is minor league technically, so I mean,
It
yeah.
is minor league, yeah. So like, I think we should only consider it as that. I mean, it's nice to get hyped about it, and I'm actually pretty hyped about it as well, just to see more football. But I imagine I'm not going to be talking about it on any channel or going to be talking about it at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
If they
I'll watch it just to
if
watch
like
it.
the viewers ask me to, I definitely will. Especially for I'm referring more to the XFL now, which is not even going to be back till next year. It's crazy that COVID knocked them out for 3 years. That's ridiculous. But the
Yeah.
USFL, like I said, I don't even have a team right now. I mean, I'm gonna watch and see
I
what
just
teams
heard about the USFL and they just held their draft.
get ahead of the draft
I
this past week. Well,
I
past
don't
couple
even
days
know who's
actually.
in. I don't even know who's in the USFL. I mean, I'm just
Kyle
seeing it.
Lauletta
Yo,
is
for
one of the
real?
picks. Yeah,
Hey, where did he go? Where did
he's
he
one of the
go?
starting quarterbacks.
Where
Let
did
me
he
look it up
go?
right now, bro. What team did he go
Oh, I'm
to?
automatically a fan, man. Hey, man, that's all you needed to say. Spider Man and Peter Parker, man.
And
That's my
Clayton
boy.
Thorson, bro. so
Screw Clayton Thorson.
so
He
Kyle
became
Lauletta
the
is with the
oh,
Pittsburgh Maulers.
Pittsburgh, man. There's no New York team, right? It's just a New
Is
Jersey
is
team.
New Jersey Generals.
New Jersey Generals. Hmm. I don't like Pittsburgh, man. I grew up in Pennsylvania most of my life. I just don't like Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then what
man,
is? Oh, go ahead, unless
Kyle
you have something else to
Lauletta,
say.
man. Hey, I hope Lauletta balls out, man. I'm telling you, he's so underrated, man. I love Lauletta. I
And
love
then
he respect the law.
MPZ says Carter isn't good, but isn't bad. I think he had a good end of the year, but I don't think he will continue here. Yeah,
I sadly
there's
agree.
nothing else to add to that. And
He was a first round graded guy too.
yo,
He was
these
graded in
jokes
the
keep
first
coming
round.
in, bro. I ain't gonna read them out loud, but these jokes keep coming in. They're funny. What? Who is the spectator index? Because this ain't it, bro.
But
Now there's just like fake news outlets tweeting stuff, which is really scary. That is ridiculous. Anyway, I mean, I think I might wrap it up here. I know this is a bit shorter than usual, guys.
yeah,
We're about to close up like about 10 minutes earlier than usual. Get your last questions in. I feel like there's definitely something we missed because we got distracted by that gigantic news that broke a couple like 20 minutes ago. But we did cover NFL draft. We did cover free agency. Covered even how, what potential ways we could free up the money and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, unless you guys have anything else to say, I'll leave the floor open for about 20 more seconds. We're going to close it up. DB says David Ojabo is Vic Beasley.
I mean, I
I mean,
mentioned that
Rondre, I
a
don't
little
mind the
bit.
jokes. I find the jokes personally hilarious. I'm just not going to read them out loud. Just out of like some sort of moral ground right
He's
here.
a speed rusher. Apparently, his stock seems to be rising. Oh, I'm seeing news about the USFL right
The
now.
manatees? Oh.
Apparently apparently that guy from Ole Miss a couple years ago, Ta'amu, whatever his name is, he's in USFL.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, it
man.
looks like that's it. I don't think anybody else has any questions. Brandon, you're very
Yeah.
welcome. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Do drop a like if you have not already on your way out. Do share the stream out. Once again,
Oh
apologize for the
crap.
shortness of it. What?
Sorry. Troy Aikman's leaving Joe Buck.
For what? Just to retire or to go to
No,
another
he's going to
network?
Monday Night Football.
Nah, we got the Manning cast, bro. Stop it.
Yo, they're trying to mess with the Manning cast, bro.
Bro.
Honestly, hopefully that gets Joe Buck out of the freaking league. Troy Aikman's crying. But
Nah, they better not mess with the Manning cast, man. What a successful
why
first
the
season. I
hell?
love the Manning cast.
Yeah, no, but I
Next
mean
year,
they're
I'm gonna
extended. They
keep it
got
real with you
extended.
guys. Next year, any games where the Giants are playing on the Manning cast, I'm not gonna stream because I'm going to be watching the Manning cast.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's probably gonna be like one game because we're not a good team, so we probably won't get much primetime games.
Yeah, we ain't
But
getting a
guys,
prime time.
that's the end of it. KB, unless you got anything else to say, we gonna end it here. Thank you so much for
I'm
tuning
good,
in.
man. I'm good, man. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button, and if you guys haven't already, subscribe to both